must rise up. We the people must unite and together raise our voices towards the leaders of this country, demanding truth and the fall of corruption. Now is the time to give America back to the people and bring justice to the criminals pulling the strings. This is the UWR, and united we will rise.
All right, now what do you think of the vaccination?
You know, I have more concern about the vaccine than I do about the swine flu. It's been rushed to market. There are high levels of adjuncts, which basically make it more potent, so they can, it's kind of an unrefined method that they use. They had to use high levels of these adjuncts, including
thimerosal. It's an antiseptic preservative, and hasn't that been linked in some cases to autism?
It has, and you look at it's been shown to cause autism in children with mitochondrial dysfunction. Now, and other is controversial, though highly implicated. And the problem is you don't know if your child has mitochondrial dysfunction. I also worry about children and people who have blood-brain barrier dysfunction or it's not fully developed, which include children, pregnant women, chronic neurological illnesses, and chronic fatigue syndrome and fibromyalgia. I've seen these people have been devastated by these, in fact.
All right, would you give it to your kids?
I definitely would not.
You would not. All right. And in fairness, I've talked to 3 doctors in 3 days now, and all 3 have said absolutely they would give it to their kids. They intend to give it to their kids. They're going to take it themselves, but you say no.
I definitely would not. I've seen it devastate people with chronic fatigue syndrome, fibromyalgia.
All right. Dr. Ken Holtorf, an expert on infectious diseases.
Had they not poured all this alcohol, then Wall Street wouldn't have got drunk. But they did. They made a lot of bad decisions, and now we've got to suffer the consequences. But it's not fair to try to say that the whole country, that everybody around the world who's holding U.S. dollars has to pay because of the bad bets made on Wall Street.
All right, so given what you're saying, you say government get out of the way, let the invisible hand of the free markets work this out. You'd be staring down the barrel of awfully difficult time for a very long time for many, many Americans at this point.
No question about that. But it's false to assume that the government can do anything about that. I am convinced that everything the government is doing to fight this off is going to make...
And I'm afraid we've lost our guest there. I'm sorry about that, technical problems, but we heard his thoughts, interesting ones. Peter Schiff there, the president of Euro-Pacific Capital. These things happen, right? Well, news of Citigroup.
I'm the only major candidate who opposed this war from the beginning. And as president, I will end it.
This is why, as president, I will make the fight against al-Qaeda and the Taliban the top priority that it should be.
Second, I will cut tens of billions of dollars in wasteful spending.
That's why I've proposed an additional $1 billion in non-military assistance each year.
I will cut investments in unproven missile defense systems. I will not weaponize space. I will slow our development of future combat systems.
We need more troops, more helicopters, more satellites, more Predator drones in the Afghan border region.
Let's go to John in San Diego. What's going on, John?
Can you address the Bohemian Grove Club private presidential?
You know, these guys in San Diego, it's too nice. The weather's too nice there.
It goes to their...
Now, here's what happens, because I used to have a house in San Diego.
Right.
Not everyone.
There are also those who claim that our reform efforts would ensure illegal immigrants. This, too, is false. The reforms I'm proposing would not apply to those who are here illegally.
We have spent a lot of time in Congress talking about the $700 billion TARP bailout, which I voted against as it happens. Not a whole lot has been talked about with regard to the $2.2 trillion that the Fed has lent out. Will you tell the American people to whom you lent $2.2 trillion of their dollars? Will you tell us who got that money and what the terms are of those agreements?
We explain each of our programs. In terms of the terms, we explain the terms exactly. We explain what the collateral requirements are. We explain what.
To whom did you explain that?
It's on our website.
Yeah, okay.
So all that information is available in our commercial paper program.
And who got the money?
Hundreds and hundreds of banks. Any bank that has access to the U.S. Federal Reserve's discount.
Can you tell us who they are?
No.
The Federal Reserve now has more power than it ever has had in history. Used to be just freaks who were, oh my goodness, the Federal Reserve, it's the Star Chamber. You know what? You can count me as one of those freaks now. Nobody has a clue as to what's going on behind the Fed's closed doors. Lawmakers are asking for transparency, not demanding, asking for transparency. But Fed Chair Bernanke is telling them back off.
What is the proper relationship, what should be the proper relationship between a chairman of the Fed and a president of the United States?
There is no other agency of government which can overrule actions that we take. What the relationships are don't frankly matter.
We have out here on the table 2454 that has 1,090 pages in it, but I've understood since debating here that there's another 300 pages that were added in the middle of the night. My inquiry is, how do I get a copy of the other 300 pages that people on here or here on the floor hadn't had a chance to read or see? Where do we get that before we cram this down on the American people?
Is there somewhere physically in the House of Representatives a copy of what we're voting on?
The gentleman has not stated a parliamentary inquiry that the chair can answer.
Mr. Speaker, I have to say that I am outraged. Here we are getting ready to vote on a piece of legislation, and we haven't even seen 300 pieces of this legislation. No one can even find the bill or even knows where it's at.
Either you are with us or you are with the terrorists.
The Department of Homeland Security calling on firefighters to take on a new role in the war on terror. The idea to be the eyes for the U.S. government when they're inside a home. Now, unlike police officers, firefighters don't need a warrant to go into private houses. And critics say that's where things get sticky.
Good evening, everyone. Homeland Security is enlisting some unlikely new recruits to fight terrorism and help with other emergencies. The Girl Scouts. Girl Scouts across the country and here in East Tennessee are now taking part.
9-year-old Elise Murphy has already earned a lot of Girl Scout patches.
Everybody somewhere between the ages of 18 and 25 will serve 3 months of basic training and understanding in a kind of civil defense.
So is this compulsory then?
Well, you have to, in the sense, it's a required of everybody. 18 to 25, 3 months, and at some point at that point, you do it.
You know, you got time to watch baseball, you got time to watch football, you got time to entertain yourself, but I think a knowledgeable public we're losing, and we've got to get people back on track to paying attention, because if you don't pay attention to your government and what they're doing, you're going to pay some dire consequences for it.
Unless we become active and become influential in the power centers of society, there's nothing we can do about it.